August 9th of 2014, 18-year-old Mike Brown, a black young man living in Ferguson, Missouri, was shot viciously by police. Mike's death has catalyzed a movement, not only locally but nationally, drawn attention to the range of police abuses that have been impacting negatively the lives of black boys and girls, men and women, for some time across the country. The Black Lives Matters ride was organized by several concerned citizens, black folk from across the country, who were interested in coming together to draw attention to the incident that happened in Ferguson, but also to the larger structural and systemic issue of anti-black violence that's often sanctioned by the state, often at the hands of police, and often at the hands of vigilante-type groups. What happened in Ferguson is largely connected to what happens in a lot of places across the country, whether we're in New York City, Los Angeles, Texas, or elsewhere. The ride is organized for Labor Day weekend, and what we're intending to do are 5 things. One, we want to show up and show the family of Mike Brown and the community that we care. We want to also use our bodies as a way to represent solidarity to families across the country who have lost loved ones to police violence. Secondly, we would like to push for the development of a national policy aimed at specifically addressing and correcting the problem of anti-black police violence in the U.S. Third, as anyone who's aware, who watches the news, a big part of the problem with the peaceful protests that occurred in Missouri had everything to do with the use of militarized instruments by the police, including tear gas, rubber bullets. So we're also pushing for demilitarization of the law enforcement as well. Fourth, one of the things we would like to do is to push for the release of names of all officers who have been involved in the murdering of black bodies across the country, whether they were on patrol or not. And fourth, decrease in law enforcement spending. And we think that a decrease in law enforcement spending could allow for increases in communities' directed funds where they're most needed, particularly around jobs, housing, and economic development in schools. So we'll get in Ferguson on August 30th, and what we hope will be a weekend of community building with those already on the ground. We're interested in bringing our bodies, our resources, our time, not just to march, but to figure out ways that we can help rebuild the community, help to sow into the community, and maintain relationships to the community, but also to ensure that we all walk away with a national platform, being ready to work in our individual locations, staying connected to each other, and figuring out how to turn the tides, how to stop the murdering of black bodies and black people across the country. We inevitably want to ensure that everyone knows that Black Lives Matter, and that's why we're riding to Ferguson on Labor Day.
Los Angeles is showing up to Ferguson because Black Lives Matter.
Texas is traveling to Ferguson, Missouri because Black Lives Matter.
Ohio is showing up to Ferguson, Missouri because Black Lives Matter.
New York is showing up in Ferguson because Black Lives Matter.
Tennessee, I'm showing up to ride because Black Lives Matter.
Connecticut is traveling to Ferguson, Missouri because Black Lives Matter.
New Jersey is showing up to Ferguson because Black Lives Matter.
All we want to do is take the chains off. All we want to do is break the chains off, man. All we want to do is be free. All we want to do is be free. All we want to do is take the chains off. All we want to do is break the chains off, man. All we want to do is be free. All we want to do is be free. Can you tell me why? Every time I step outside, I see my